So in the last video that I put out, I talked about the coding that is involved around black people all throughout history. I The reason that I mentioned it was in regards to W.E.B. Du Bois and the U.S. Department of Education misspelling his name. In this video, I pronounce his name wrong because I honestly wasn't sure how to pronounce it. I've seen in multiple different places people saying it different, saying Dubois the French way and whatnot. I guess it's W.E.B. Du Bois. And I just shortened it up to Webb. I knew it was W.E.B., but Webb is just so much easier. But regardless, the information I'm presenting in the video is undeniable. Who cares if I pronounce the name wrong? I even said I wasn't sure if that's how you pronounced it. But I showed in this video how our language is all coded by the numbers, and there's certain numbers that they negatively stamp on black people and whatnot. Basically, in all these videos, I'm showing gematria, and that is the practice of coding numbers into words. And if you don't understand what that is, I'll leave a link in the description. It will be the first link. It's a 15-minute video. It explains everything that I'm talking about in these videos. I don't know all of the answers, but I know that it is being used by people in power, Freemasons, Zionists. They put it in films. They control our media. They code media stories every single day. They control the sports leagues. They code the sports by the numbers. And it sure seems that they created the English language based around some type of universal code, and they just know how to manipulate it and make things, happen by this code. And it might sound crazy, but I have probably 1,000 videos showing examples of how this is being used all throughout history in a number of different things. So check out this video. I'll re-explain a little bit in regards to it, but I'm telling you, I'm talking about how civil rights is coded all throughout history, how, there's certain numbers that are negatively stamped on black people. And just the other day, after making that video, there was a news article about the owner of Little Caesars, who actually just recently died, but it said Little Caesars founder quietly paid Rosa Parks rent for years. So I was like, interesting. It is Black History Month, and I'll show why that's significant in a second, but figured let's look up Little Caesars, let's look up this guy, see how he fits in. And I've honestly never looked up that much about Rosa Parks, but she's coded the exact same way that all these other people are coded all throughout history, and negatively and everything else. So the first thing I noticed was that Little Caesars was founded in the year 1959. And the reason that 59 is so significant is because the word slave equals 59, Negro equals 59. Let's pull up an example here. Jigaboo equals 59, Cotton Picker equals 59, Eli Whitney died at the age of 59, Tobacco equals 59, Blues equals 59, Motown Records was founded in the year 59, HIV, the first case is supposedly traced back to the year 59 in the Belgian Congo. Belgian Congo equals 59. Booker T. Washington died at the age of 59. John Brown, the guy who had the Harper's Ferry raid, he died age 59 in 1859 on 5/9 even. The Civil War came to an end on 5/9 of 1865. Abraham Lincoln was all about the number 43, and if you write out 43, it equals 59. Born on the 43rd day of the year. He died 43 days into his second term. He died 4 years, 3 days after the Civil War began. Became president on March 4th, which can be written as 4/3. Civil War equals 43. Charleston equals 43, where the Civil War began. Another reason why 59 is so significant is because the super N-word here in regards to black people, in gematria it equals 42, but the way that you get 42 is that N is the 14th letter, so it breaks down, it'd be 1 plus 4 equals 5. I is the ninth letter, so you don't have to break that down. G the seventh, G the seventh, E the fifth, and then R is 18. So 1 plus 8 equals 9. And when you break that down, it's 5 plus 9, and then 7 plus 7 plus 7, and then 5 plus 9. So the beginning and the end of the super n word equal, or it has 59 in the beginning. And think about all these other 59s. Remember, Jackie Robinson wore number 42. Even the first black pitcher in the World Series was Satchel Paige, and his real name was Leroy Page. That equals 59. He began playing in the major leagues at the age of 42. On his 42nd birthday is even when he got signed, and his 42nd birthday was 7-7. Think about that. The middle number here. And then he even played Major League Baseball until the age of 59, supposedly. So, a ton more examples, Brothers equal 42. If you just write 5, it equals 42. If you write 9, it equals 42. So, there you go. A little bit of what I talked about in the last video. So, just interesting. Little Caesars, founded in the year 59. And, I talk about how there's this weird stuff that happens all the time to me as well. And that's why I'm positive there's some type of universal code that exists, and these people just know how to manipulate it. But right as I was typing up this post, the TV, a commercial came on the TV all of a sudden of Little Caesars. And I noticed that their little deal is 5 items for $5 each. And as I started looking up Rosa Parks after it, I just posted this in here because I thought that's pretty interesting. Now, I didn't really get what the 5 items, 55, would mean. And of course, though, 5 equals 42. But what I think that they were trying to get at was that Rosa Parks literally wouldn't get off her seat in the bus in the year 1955. And so, right, we got a 5-5. 1955 was when Rosa Parks wouldn't move on the bus. It was in Montgomery, Alabama. Montgomery equals 55. Rosa Parks, with the S exception, also equals 55. So who knows? Maybe that's some type of weird joke, how all this works out, It was also exactly 3:30 p.m. In numerology, you don't use the 0, so it's a 33. Pizza equals 33 in Gematria. Little Caesar's slogan is pizza, pizza even, 33, 33. The highest degree in Scottish Rite Freemasonry, among other things. I also noticed that, and I'll get more into it in a second in regards to Rosa Parks. I'm just showing some other interesting things in regards to Little Caesars. So, Little Caesars is headquartered in Detroit, that equals 91, and it was founded on May 8th, 1959. And if you do the date numerology of that, 5 plus 8 plus 19 plus 59, it also equals 91. Also, in regards to it being just Michigan, I could be wrong. I haven't went back and looked at all the states in a while, but I think Michigan is the only state that equals 64 in Gematria, which is a number that is super coded around civil rights. Civil rights in Gematria equals 64, just like Michigan. The Civil Rights Act was passed in the year 64 by Lyndon B. Johnson, that equals 64. He died age 64. Even W.E.B. Du Bois, he died 311 days before that act was passed, and the 64th prime number is 311. He was also born on February 23rd, the day that leaves 311 days in the year. And, the 64th prime, 311. He even died 6 months, 4 days after his 95th birthday, a lot like 64. Abraham Lincoln was first elected president on the 311th day of the year. MLK Jr. even equals 64 in Gematria. So I looked up Rosa Parks. It says she was born on February 4th, which of course, in other parts of the world, they're at the date 4/2, a lot like 42, a lot like the super N-word. Somebody pointed out in my comments, too, that if you write out 5 the small way, it equals 24, and the big way, it equals 42, and then also with 9. 9 equals 24 the small way, 42 the big way. Rosa Parks, born on 2-4 or also 4-2. She also died 3 months and 11 days before her birthday. Go figure, 311, the 64th prime number. It's all about civil rights. Rosa Parks with the S and K exception equals 64 in Gematria as well. Found that pretty interesting. Also, the guy who supposedly paid her rent here, can't think of what his name was. I know I wrote it in here, though. I'll find it. Mike, however you say his name there, Mike whatever Senior, he also equals 64 in Gematria. So, I mean, just how fitting. The bus incident with Rosa Parks, and, she wasn't the first one. She just got popular or whatever. They made it popular. So, go figure they made it popular because they coded it all by the numbers and everything else. They coded a bunch of the other ones as well, which I'll get to. But she wouldn't move off the bus on December 1st, 1955, which was 2 months and 4 days before her birthday on 2/4, right? And she was also 42 years old at the time. So that means it was 2 months, 4 days before her 43rd birthday on 2/4. If you write out 42, it equals 43. The bus driver in the incident, his name was James Blake. James Blake in Gematria equals 43. He was also 43 years old on the time of the bus incident. And he also died. He died 24 days before his birthday. Before his 90th birthday, he dies 24 days before. Rosa Parks, born on 2/4. The incident happens 2 months, 4 days before her birthday when she's age 42. So as I was looking up the bus thing and whatnot, it talks about this guy, Ralph Abernathy, and how he collaborated with Martin Luther King Jr. and they created the Montgomery Improvement Association that led up to the Montgomery bus boycott and everything else. And just look at this guy. What I just keep saying about 311 and how it connects to 64 and civil rights. This guy, born March 11th, 311, dies age 64. Oh, the odds. Oh, the odds. It's not planned whatsoever. Even the day that he was born, 3 plus 11 plus 19 plus 26 has a date numerology of 59. His name in Gematria equals 68. And the date numerology of, well, that's actually supposed to say 55 here. The date numerology of the Rosa Parks bus thing was 12 plus 1 plus 55 equals 68. Rosa Parks dies on 10/24. It's the day that leaves 68 days in the year. Martin Luther King Jr. died in the year 68. Montgomery, Alabama equals 68. So just a little side thing in regards to Martin Luther King. And there is a 68 connection as well. The day that Rosa Parks died, also a date numerology of 59. 10 plus 24 plus 20 plus 5, 59. This girl right here was supposedly like a 15-year-old girl who sat on the bus and wouldn't move before Rosa Parks did. It was also in the year 55, but she was pregnant or something, and they didn't want it to look bad or whatever, so they didn't use her, supposedly. That's what they say in history. But there's a bunch of interesting stuff about this girl. So Claudette Colvin, CC, which is 33. She's currently 77 years old. The middle of the 5 plus 9. Also, look at her birthday. 9/5, or also 5/9, right? 59, 95, the reflections. That's how these people roll. They love to do things as above, so below. They'd love to do the mirrors. The day that she wouldn't move on her seat on the bus was March 2nd of the year 55. 3 plus 2 plus 55 equals 60. The super inward, the big way, equals 60. So it equals 42 the small way. It equals 60 the big way. February is the only month, Black History Month, but February equals 42. It ends on the 59th day of the year normally. In a leap year, it ends on the 60th day of the year. February also the day that has the 40, or the month that has the 42nd day of the year. One other interesting thing about this girl, she was born in the year 39, which syncs up to Malcolm X and whatnot. Martin Luther King Jr., they both died at the age of 39. If you read out their names, they both equal 93, the reflection of 39. There's a lot more to go along with that, but just pointing it out, moving on here. And of course, the bus incident with her was 6 months, 4 days before her birthday. Yet again, the 64 syncing up with civil rights. It's also interesting, too, that it's 188 days, because the 188th day is 7/7, and right now this lady's currently 77 years old. Talked about how it was the middle. If you read about her, they make sure to tell you that also her incident was 9 months before Rosa Parks. The word 9, remember, equals 42. If you write out 9 months, it equals 59, like slave, like Negro. I also just pointed out that her name equals 166 in gematria, which is just a number I've been seeing a whole lot in recent videos and whatnot, and all kinds of topics. So just pointing it out, possibly it'll come back up and I'll talk about it at a later time. So this other lady was also before Rosa Parks, Aurelia Broder, or however you say her name. And I mean, look at that. She died in 1971 on Rosa Parks' 58th birthday. Surprised it wasn't her 59th birthday, but just interesting. She died on 4/2 or 2/4. Her name equals 71, and she dies in the year 71. African American equals 71. The day that she died, 2 plus 4 plus 71 equals 77. There was also these other 3 ladies that I can't find that enough information on to really talk about them. But just interesting, one of them even equals 60. I don't know when their birthdays were or if they're dead or alive or whatever. So possibly I eventually maybe do more research and find more about them. But just pointing it out, there was a bunch of other ladies before Rosa Parks. And at least this one was coded by the numbers. The Claudette Colvin coded by the numbers. There was also a lady who wasn't part of the Montgomery bus movement, and she wouldn't move on a bus in 1944. And just want to show you her birthday here. April 9th, and she died on August 10th. Well, that's a span of 4 months and 2 days. So yet again, the same coding that I'm talking about. Her name in gematria equals 77. So leaving it at that. Just wanted to make a quick video. I've never really talked about Rosa Parks or really looked her up. Completely coded to the same stuff I'm talking about all throughout history with other people that I've looked up. And the reason that they made a story about this guy was because his name equals 64, like civil rights, and Little Caesars found in the year 59, like Negro, like slave, a bunch of other things, you know. I'm sure there's even more to find. I didn't really take that long to really look through all of this, so. I'll leave the previous video link in the description as well. Check out my how-to gematria video if you don't understand what I'm saying. It explains it a lot better. It'll make it make a lot more sense. Have a good one.